guys, we are back with our FM2 A8 build. Currently I've taken off the stock fan. I booted it up with this on, and it's so ridiculously loud that it isn't even worth it. That thing makes the Intel stock coolers look quiet, which is something of a feat in my opinion. So we're going to be replacing it with the Cooler Master Gemini 2 M4. As some people have noted, this is a little bit older cooler, but for low profile, for the price, it's really hard to beat. And I've already removed the thermal compound, and you know, I've done a review of these. This is the part 1, this is the part 2. The part 2 is basically just rubbing alcohol. So, yeah, you know, you don't really need the part 2. However, the part 1, I mean, you just get 99% alcohol for rubbing alcohol for this. The part 1, however, does a really good job of breaking up the thermal compound so that you can get it wiped off, so then you can clean it with this, and they just happen to come bundled together. So I would recommend this, the Arctic Clean thermal remover. And it's definitely worth, I think I paid like $9 for the 2 of them on sale. So it might be more now, but it's definitely worth it, especially if you ever do, you know, many removal of CPUs. Especially if you have something like an H100, where you might be taking it on and off a couple of times, or thinking about getting an H100. It's a good investment, because the better prepared the surface is, the better it's going to do. So we are going to put this bad mamma jam of a back plate on. And the nice thing here is this case does have a back CPU cutout. So the first thing we need to do is take off the stock mounting brackets for the FM2 part. That's as simple as just undoing a couple of screws, and the back plate will probably fall off the back of the board. Sometimes you can reuse the back plates. Depends. I tend to try to reuse the back plates if I can, depending on if they're quality or not. Because then you have a generic back plate if you ever need it. You know, if you can reuse the one that's on the board, and you can save the one that came with the kit, you never know when you might need it. That's just kind of the, you know, it's that new Yankee philosophy of, you know, reuse what you can and save what you don't need to. Whoops, sorry about that. One last screw doesn't want to come out. There we go. So now that we got that off, I will tip this up and show you guys what I'm talking about here. So as you can see, nice big CPU cutout, and this is stuck on there pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out, and it does go a little high. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see this. This board actually does conflict a little bit. So, you know, you want to watch out for stuff like this. It would have been nice if they could have made this opening a little taller. With this kind of bracket, it's really hard to, you know, center it properly. So I'm going to try to reuse this just because it's there. And the way that I'm going to test that is, yeah, let's see how the mounting harnesses work. That's going to be the bigger deal. And I'm pretty sure, unfortunately, that we have to use this back plate because we need to use the bolt through style, and the little nuts that they provide here. So with these, so I'm gonna have to see if I can get that even in there. That'll be an interesting thing, because I might not be able to tighten the board there. So I need to add screw these on, and just go on top like that and screw through. And I'm going to do some investigation on if I'll even be able to get it in there. It's going to be really close with this. And this is why I do these reviews, guys. You know, I could do this for myself and just deal with it, but if I can show you guys the kind of problems I encounter, then hopefully everybody benefits. So if you can see, the holes just barely poke down below, but to get this back plate off, you actually have to rock it out. So we'll have to see how that does. So I'm going to take care of that, and I'll be right back. Okay, back. I have the bracket on, and it comes with these little rubber mounts, and they just go over the holes. A little bit of adhesive on them. And one thing I am going to do is I'm going to leave the coating on. I'm just going to test fit this because I need to figure out, you know, exactly which direction I want it to go, where it's going to overhang. I can adjust it a little bit. I can actually change the feet on this if I want to. That seems okay. I'm a little worried about the overhang, to be honest with you. I may need to use the other brackets that are here somewhere. That's what, if you saw my slightly ridiculous unboxing of this. You can use these to offset it in a different direction. These. But I'm gonna see, I think this will actually be okay if I kind of keep the retention bracket for the fan. That's the only thing I'm worried about is, yeah, see, and it came off. So this is why to test fit, because if I had my thermal compound on here, I could be getting to reapply it and clean it all up again. So with a little manipulation here, a little gentle persuasion, that's on there tight, so it shouldn't rattle, and it's tucked back underneath. The thing I don't want it to do is to come out past, see if I can show this to you guys. I don't want it to come out past the lip of here because I just want to make sure that it's not going to touch the video card. So that's plenty of clearance now that I folded the retention clips under, because see, they were like this where they were sticking out quite a bit. And now all I've done is put a little tiny bend in it so that it sits back up underneath a little. So that should be okay. You know, I've taken it out of the groove, so we'll have to see how it does. I'm going to see if I can actually get it in the groove and still keep it where I want it. So this is one of the unfortunate things when you're kind of using, you know, parts that kind of go together but don't really go together. And yeah, so even with it in the groove, it still slides quite a bit, so I'm not really worried about that. I'll see, can always adjust that later. I'll see how it does, if it rattles or not when it's installed. You can always take the fan off and reinstall the fan, so that's not a big deal. So that looks like it fits really good. The cable's where I want it. Looks really good, in my opinion. It's gonna blow down. So now we're gonna test fit the back. And this is where I'm a little concerned, but I think I might be able to get away with it. So the bracket here, and it has a nice coating on the back, will fit, you know, right where it needs to go. It's going to be really tricky to hold it on there and screw this in, however. So this is one of the things, a lot of these backplate designs, it'd be nice if they put a little bit of adhesive on the plate. Corsair does that with their back retention plates. But this is going to be kind of a trick, because I have to think about if I want to just take the board out and do it that way. Or if I want to try to hold it and curse a lot, which might be the option. So I'm going to work on getting at least one of the screws installed here. And I'm just going to use the stock thermal paste. And I'm going to use the grain of rice method. So I'll be back with a hopefully partially installed CPU cooler. Okay, so after some swearing and some ingenuity, basically what I had to do is, here, I'll try to show this to you guys. This really was kind of a trick. I almost thought about cutting dremeling out this part. So what I did was, I held on, I needed about 7 hands here. I held on to the heatsink and gently held the bolt one at a time here, or the nuts, and then just barely put a little bit of the threading through and spun it by hand just enough to catch, and then did the other side. So I can definitely see why now, I should be able to lay this down without destroying things, why they give you not only this side, but that side. Because what's really going to be a good trick is tightening down these top ones. So it's going to take a while. It would be a lot easier if this bracket wasn't multi-purpose for the Intel parts, because I could actually get a half a turn more on the little wrench here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tighten this one a little, like, you know, maybe the equivalent of a turn or two, just to where it's, you know, kind of snug. And then I'm going to switch over to down here, and for that one, thank God, I can use the little socket that came with it. And you don't want to over tighten this, guys. You just want to make sure it's down, you know, snug. It doesn't need to be you know, break the world tight. And we're going to go up here. This one's a little easier to tighten. I know my big fat hand's getting in the way. And tighten this side down a little. And then we're going to go down here and do this guy. So basically just putting, like, if you know how to put lug nuts on a car, you pretty much know how to do this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to just try to get under this a little bit. Now, this is not going to be easy. And just these ones I'm a little worried that, see, that one was actually pretty good. And then I just want to make sure these actually are tight, because a loose heat sink is about the worst thing you can do, because you're going to get absolutely no cooling at all. Okay, those are actually both pretty good. So now what I like to do is flip it over, check your back clearance, that looks really good. And then I like to do the jiggle test, which you want to grab the heat sink. I know you guys probably can't see this at all, but I basically just rock the heat sink a little bit and make sure it doesn't come up. You'll know right away if it's loose, and that is on there really good. You can also jiggle a little side to side. It just wants to be firm. You don't need it to be super tight. You just want it to be firm. I guess if you've ever done any plumbing, anything like that, where you're tightening down pipes or fittings, you know, you just want to go to where it's tight, like hand tight, plus like a quarter turn with a wrench. So that's on there nice and sturdy. It all looks pretty darn good. So in the next video, we're going to get the hard drive in here, get the CD-ROM in here, and get her wired, I think. And it'll be interesting to see, oh, RAM, of course. This is one thing I did this kind of on purpose, but the RAM, it does overhang the RAM here. But I already test fitted it off camera, so I know I can actually get the RAM in with the heatsink on. However, you do want to make sure you check that. So I know for my instance that I need to take the fan off, which, you know, not a big deal, right? There you go, fan off. It's a piece of cake to take on and off. And I can get the RAM in there. But, you know, other than that, it's not that big of a deal. So, but your motherboard may vary. So definitely make sure you can put the RAM in, that the RAM has clearance, because this actually gets pretty darn close to the RAM. And we'll see you next time for finishing this baby up, hopefully. This is Tim for TimmyTechTV. Please check out the 900D video. It's a great giveaway we're doing with Linus Tech Tips. And if that is already done, I'm sure there will be more giveaways in the future. Basically anything I make from the YouTube ads, I just give back to you guys as a way to build viewership. So if you like winning stuff, turn off ad block, click on some banners. The more I make, the more I give away. So like I said, I don't make any money off of this. I just do it as a hobby. I just do it for stuff I buy for myself or people that I'm building machines for. So, you know, take it as it comes. If you guys, you know, want to support independent YouTube people, you know, please click on some of the videos. Please turn off ad block. You know, not much else I can say. It's just going to go back to you guys in this scenario. So just consider that. Tim for TimmyTechTV signing off. I'll see you guys next time.